the knowledge of these people.
Everyone here has such detailed knowledge, but earlier I was particularly impressed by Marlee. It's typical in a society that has relied on such skills for so long.
You're going through the book with that young woman.
Yeah, and it was a book written by people further south of here who've recorded their bush law, and she was looking with the greatest detail at the picture. She knew exactly which features on which plants she needed to look for. Now, I guess that's not surprising to a botanist, but these aren't botanists. These are just ordinary folk, and what I think we see here is this continuing tradition of the use of bush foods and bush resources for medicine and so on, that requires people to have a very acute memory and a very good attention to detail in a way that the modern world doesn't encourage people today.
Indeed.
For me, one of the best illustrations of this knowledge and attention to detail is the way Clara and the others are able to find yams. Anyone can dig them up, but I've tried finding them before and always failed. This time, I'm determined to succeed.
Clara, I've come hunting for yams in the past, long time ago. I had real trouble. Because it's difficult to see them, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm watching you. What are you looking for?
Yam.
Yeah, but what? What do you... I watched. You don't just go, yam. You have to look carefully. That's no good?
No, that for seed.
For the seeds?
Yeah.
So you're looking what? For the vine first?
Yes.
And then to identify it,
Yes.
you look up and then you look for the seeds in the tree.
Yes.
Can you show me?
This posture when people are looking, it's a stance so familiar. All hunter-gatherers do the same.
You found one. Okay. So this is one. How do you know? Ah, these seed pods right at the top.
You can tell me.
Yeah, I see that.
Puyumara.
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 Yes.
Puyumara.
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 Yeah.
Okay, Puyumara. That's long yam
Yeah.
in your
Kind
language.
of being a language.
Okay.
Yeah.
We ate long yams roasted yesterday, but they can be eaten raw.
You could try a bit of that.
Sure. That's pretty good. That's nice.
It's nice, isn't it? It's good eating. Good pepper.
Now we're looking for cheeky yams. The best time to gather these is autumn, when all the goodness has gone into the roots, leaving the leaves withered and dry. But the only way to tell the cheeky yam from the long yam is by tiny differences in their leaves.
It's amazing. You wouldn't believe it. I've spent weeks trying to spot the difference between these. Once they're withered and dry, it's so difficult. Really difficult to spot the difference.
Women like Robin rely on being able to spot these minute differences.
So I reckon that is cheeky yam, but I'm usually wrong. Let's see. Robin, is that cheeky yam?
Yeah.
I've got one right. I've got one right. I can't believe it.
At last a breakthrough, and Gordon has a true botanist's way of summing it up.
Till earlier my confidence was a little bit knocked, but it's come back now.
Your acuminate apex is rather shallower. Shorter leaf.
Once a botanist, always a botanist. But what Gordon means is the cheeky yam is slightly less pointy than the long yam, but you'll just have to take my word for it. It's impossible to show on camera.
Is that it here, going down? It's broken, isn't it? That's the difficulty. When they break, then it's hard to find where they go into the ground. Watch how carefully Robin searches for what she's looking for. It's a real art.
This is just a pile of twigs. But this is what hunting and gathering is all about. Patience, attention to detail, and knowing when to give up.
You can't find it. And would you now go somewhere else to look for another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Well, there you go. If you can't find the part sticking out of the ground, you have to move on. There's no point in wasting energy searching aimlessly underground. That's really interesting because we have a route back in Britain we're interested in, which we think may be similar in many ways to the cheeky yam. And these gathering problems are exactly the same sort of thing that our ancestors may once have faced.
But our ancestors must have been just as persistent and just as successful as Robin is. Otherwise, none of us would be here today. As our journey across Australia draws to a close, it's been a wonderful reminder of what it is about hunting and gathering that makes it so special. A taste of the role of food in this society, and a great introduction for Gordon to this way of life.
The bad taste is gone.
Yes.
I think the thing that's impressed me most is the way in which their culture here, all sorts of cultural components, their stories, their whole range of spiritual traditions affect their subsistence activities. There are a whole battery of influences that above all I think help maintain that knowledge, maintain those traditions. The maintenance of these storylines, so important that they pass on to their children, is a way of ensuring that this knowledge continues. And I think the role of these cultural factors has really impressed me hugely. Obviously, they would have been very different in Britain 6,000 years ago, entirely different. But on the other hand, just the overall fact that culture can play this sort of role in the present-day hunter-gatherer society does raise these possibilities for our British past.
Thanks to their care for their heritage, the Aboriginals of Australia have brought hunting and gathering alive for us in a way we could never do at home. We can now go back to Britain with our minds full of the possibilities of what existed in our long-vanished past. I'm not suggesting for one moment that what we've seen here is how things were in Britain. But certainly we've seen from the songs and the dances, and we've only just scratched the surface, that Aboriginal lives are intricately tied to their food resources and to the land itself. I can't wait to get back to Britain to explore our foods and what they might have meant to our hunter-gatherer forebears.
Ray Mears returns next Wednesday at 8. More details in just a moment. And stay with us here on BBC Two next for an insight into our £1 trillion economy in what makes Britain rich.